Chosen one. This isn't just another message. This is your wake-up call. Something deep inside already knows you didn't land here by chance. You were summoned. You felt the pressure building, the inner stirring, the sense that something massive is about to unfold. And you're right. What you're about to hear isn't meant for everyone. It's reserved for those set apart. The ones who carry fire in their spirit. The ones who have endured in silence. The ones who were built for more. This moment, it's not random. It's divine. If you're watching, it means heaven has its eyes on you. And the next chapter of your journey is not just near. It's now. So take a breath. Lean in. You're not just being informed. You're being activated. This is the message your soul's been waiting for. Welcome, chosen one. It's time to rise. A shift unlike anything seen before is already unfolding, and those who carry the deepest light can feel it in their bones. You haven't been imagining the pressure, the change in rhythm, or the strange weight pressing on your spirit. It's not fear, it's activation. Something ancient, something sacred is calling. And if this message has reached you, it's because your soul is ready to respond. The world around you may look the same, but the atmosphere is not. Everything is aligning for a mass awakening. You are not being abandoned. You are being summoned. This is a moment of revelation, not rejection. What's coming is not meant to destroy, but to release. Before going deeper into this awakening, hit pause and do 3 sacred acts. Touch the like button to echo this signal beyond borders. Subscribe to walk this journey alongside thousands rising in truth, and comment the number 55, a divine signature of readiness and remembrance. If your heart is stirred and your chest feels like it's holding something unseen, know this message is custom carved for you. Feel God's love stirring within you. Don't let it stop there. Hit the super thank you button and sow a seed of $20 or more. That simple act can ignite hope, heal hearts, and carry His love further than you imagine. You are made to shine His light. This is your moment. Be the miracle someone's been praying for. Let heaven move through you. Those who turn away now are simply not yet ready to step into this frequency. But for those still reading, your timeline is being rewritten. Reality is about to split open, and you will never be the same. This shift will not be understood by the masses, but it will be felt by those chosen to rise. This isn't about escaping, it's about returning. Your moment of spiritual emergence draws near, and yes, it comes at a cost. But what you gain in return is divine identity in its purest form. A voice is calling, not a whisper, but a thunder from realms unseen. You don't have forever to delay. Time is collapsing into purpose. What once felt distant is now at your doorstep. Before this cycle completes, before this chapter closes, a great separation takes place. It's not the end, it's evolution. A new reality beckons those prepared to leave behind the layers they once called life. Make your impact eternal. Join now and be a light in someone's darkness. Looking for purpose and peace? Hit subscribe and start the journey. Everything you've endured, the loneliness, the invisible battles, the nights spent holding onto hope with trembling hands. It wasn't wasted. It was the molding. And now, the unseen world answers back. You've been shaped for something far beyond explanation. When the moment comes, many won't understand. They'll question where you've gone, what's happening, how people can vanish without a trace. But it's not disappearance, it's transformation. The shell falls away, and the spirit rises. This is a recalibration, a call to shed everything heavy, to finally let go of cycles that no longer hold truth. You are not fading, you are being lifted. Not through endings, but through elevation. Stay aware, stay ready. You were never meant to stay grounded in what was. You were built to transcend it. And now, that time draws near. You are not leaving behind your life. You are stepping into the one you were always meant to live. A new layer of awareness begins to surface, one that cannot be touched by titles, appearances, or the noise of survival. What's unfolding now reaches beyond routines and obligations. It touches the very core of existence. The old image, the one shaped by pain and performance, begins to dissolve. Not because of loss, but because the deeper truth is finally rising. What once defined no longer applies. What once felt permanent is now a fading echo. The outer shell softens as the inner light starts to lead. This transition is not escape, it's elevation. Not a farewell to life, but an invitation into something purer, more aligned with the eternal self that existed long before roles, labels, or expectations. It is a sacred shift that honors not just the journey, but the heart that stayed true when it was easiest to give up. It is a quiet unlocking, a release from the weight that kept the soul from breathing freely. It may feel sudden and even unsettling, like waking up from a dream where everything once made sense. But this disruption is divine. The timeline was never accidental. What approaches now was written far beyond earthly clocks or calendars. It's a calling back to essence, and those who feel it know this is not about disappearance, it's about becoming uncontainable. There will be resistance. Not everyone can let go of what they've always known. But the pull to stay no longer overpowers the call to rise. What once brought comfort now feels foreign. And the detachment is not cold, it's confirmation. The soul begins to glow through the cracks of the false self, dissolving everything that cannot follow. Beneath the silence sits a promise, freedom. Not the kind spoken of in slogans, but the real kind. The kind that unhooks the spirit from sorrow. The kind that makes space for joy to return. This process may shatter illusions, but it awakens clarity. It may look like departure, but it's actually a return to origin, to truth, to what was always waiting just beyond the veil. A threshold approaches, not a date on a calendar, but a moment carved in spiritual time, the conclusion of one way of being, and the emergence of something untouched by decay. Those who recognize it know it's not fantasy, it's fulfillment. And as these beings step out of the noise, the world will notice the silence. It will ache for explanation. But the absence is not empty. It makes way for what's next. The mind may not comprehend it, but the heart has always known. No one walks this path alone. There's a collective rising, a divine orchestration of souls stepping beyond the grid of limitation and into full alignment. Every hardship, every season of feeling unseen was never punishment, it was preparation. And now, that preparation reveals its purpose. This isn't erasure, it's emergence. Not becoming less, but becoming whole. This shift strips away what was never truly yours to begin with. The names, the roles, the masks, they all return to dust. And what remains is the essence, not broken, not hidden, unbound. The spirit that carried burdens in silence now lifts into a rhythm that cannot be explained, only felt. No one can stop this. No one needs to. It was always meant to happen. The sacred shedding has begun, and those who are ready will rise. Something ancient within begins to stir. The layers once mistaken for identity peel away like old bark from a growing tree. Titles, obligations, and the familiar weight of earthly struggle falls silent. No longer does the soul require old signposts of value. This is not collapse. This is emergence. What's rising now is raw, real, and untethered by the systems once used for navigation. Make your impact eternal. Join now and be a light in someone's darkness. This isn't disappearance, it's restoration. Not loss, but lightness. What once chained spirit to limitation is falling away, quietly, divinely. The shedding may feel like groundlessness, but it is guided by precision. A return not to safety, but to sovereignty. This is how spirit walks again, not as one forgotten, but as one finally uncontained. Across the globe, the pattern grows louder, stranger. People vanish without warning, not with fear, but with peace. Not taken, but transformed. Eyewitnesses stumble for explanation. Headlines can't hold the truth. What they call unexplained is simply the invisible becoming sovereign again. The quiet ones, the misunderstood, they were never lost. They were always first in line. Every silence that follows is not emptiness, it's reverence. A sacred stillness drapes over the places they once stood. It is not death, it is distinction. The call was heard, and the soul obeyed. What looks like disappearance is sacred relocation, a frequency shift, not a tragedy. For those who feel the pull, hold steady. The storm is not punishment, it is a passage. When the noise becomes unbearable, listen deeper. There, beneath the chaos, is a rhythm. Your rhythm, guiding you through a doorway most still pretend isn't real. This isn't fiction. This is return. You are not being taken. You are being invited. Where you're going cannot be charted by map. It is not higher, it is clearer. The illusion ends not with violence, but with a breath. What you called a body was never your limit. What you called reality was never your home. And now, the real voyage begins, not into darkness, but into brilliance that no lens can capture. Feel God's love stirring within you. Don't let it stop there. Hit the super thank you button and sow a seed of $20 or more. That simple act can ignite hope, heal hearts, and carry His love further than you imagine. You were made to shine His light. This is your moment. Be the miracle someone's been praying for. Let heaven move through you. The ailments that once echoed through your bones, the wounds that lived like ghosts in your chest, the weight of generational debris, all of it dissolves. Not forgotten, fulfilled. Every scar, every ache was a key. Every disappointment, a compass. You didn't survive it by accident. You were carved for this moment. Where you are going is not above, it is within. And there you will meet something most have only imagined. Unfiltered presence. Not mystery, not mythology, clarity. A place where the divine does not hover. It walks beside. It listens when you do not speak. It recognizes you as its reflection. There, in that sacred dimension beyond any system humans dare name, you will not float. You will stand. And you will remember that every moment you thought you were forgotten, you were actually being shaped. This is not heaven. It is not an afterlife. It is the unveiling of what has always been close, hidden behind the illusion of time. And what is waiting for you there? Not escape, not comfort, but expansion. A way of being where limits no longer bind, where the soul doesn't need defense to be safe, where love does not require effort to be real. The divine doesn't knock at the door, it opens it from the inside. This is not for everyone. Not all will hear the frequency. Not all will recognize the invitation. But those who do will not run. They will rise. Because you were never meant to fit here. You were meant to remember. And now, you do. There comes a time when everything that once defined you begins to fall silent. Not in loss, but in clarity. What once felt like connection now feels like distance. Not because something is broken, but because something greater is being born. The essence within you is no longer content to be shaped by the visible world. It reaches towards something vast, sacred, and eternal. As the shift unfolds, what once anchored you, approval, recognition, familiar patterns, begins to lose its pull. The voices you once lived to please grow quieter. The standards you once tried to meet begin to blur. This is not abandonment, it is realignment. A soul being called back to its own rhythm cannot stay bound by the applause of the crowd. What once felt like home now feels like memory. And in that space, a new family is revealed, not by blood, but by frequency. Not in the flesh, but in truth. Those who resonate with the light you carry will find you, not in a room, but in a realm where spirit meets spirit and ego cannot enter. That is where belonging waits. The burdens you've carried, illness, grief, confusion, scarcity, are not part of your identity. They were teachers, not names. And now, the class is ending. Their purpose is complete. They no longer follow you. What rises next is untouched by the weight you once thought permanent. In this new place, you are sustained not by what you eat, wear, or prove, but by presence. You are no longer fueled by pressure or performance, but by divine clarity. What once needed to be earned now simply is. This moment is not punishment. It is promise kept, a sacred chapter arriving right on time. The heaviness you've known becomes the very proof of what you're ready for. What you've endured has never gone unnoticed. The quiet battles, the hidden victories, the decisions no one clapped for, they counted. Every moment sharpened your awareness, stretched your capacity, and prepared your inner world for a truth few ever meet. You are ready. You do not rise with baggage, you rise with breath. But to do so, you must release what was never meant to follow. Pain, resentment, fear, they are not souvenirs. Let them go like smoke, leaving a flame. They cannot help you where you're going. They are too dense for the altitude ahead. There is no crown heavy enough to weigh down a soul that's been freed. What must be carried now is light, not legacy. The space you clear by letting go will be filled with a presence more intimate than language. A current of love that doesn't knock, it flows, filling every hollow corner within you. If you felt disconnected, detached, or numb, know this: it's not failure, it's a signal. The system you've outgrown no longer nourishes you because you're not here to survive it. You're here to transcend it. The ache is not your enemy, it's your invitation. So if the things that once brought joy now feel empty, and the voices around you don't quite understand your silence, breathe deep. You're not behind. You're ahead. You're not falling away. You're rising beyond. What feels like absence is just preparation for the next presence. The path ahead may ask for surrender, but it gives more than it takes. It strips illusion, not identity. It awakens power, not pressure. And what comes next is not a version of who you've been. It's a revelation of who you've always been beneath it all. And that, beloved soul, is why the shift has begun. There's a quiet unraveling happening inside, something subtle but undeniable. The things that once comforted now feel distant. The rhythm of your days has changed, but you can't quite explain why. This is not confusion. It's alignment. It's the gentle echo of something sacred calling you forward. That unsettled feeling isn't failure or weakness. It's a divine prompting, a whisper from beyond the veil saying, "It's time." You are not being pulled apart. You are being peeled open. Each moment of discomfort is not punishment. It's the soul's stretching. You are outgrowing the shape of your old self. And though the process aches, it is holy. What once felt familiar now feels foreign because your frequency is shifting. The ideas you carry, the truths you know, the dreams too big for others to grasp, those weren't imagined. They were embedded in you before this lifetime. You weren't made to blend in. You were made to break patterns. Walking a higher path often means walking alone. And the silence of that road can feel brutal. People may misunderstand you, question your choices, even turn away. But their confusion isn't your burden. Their disbelief is not your signal to stop. The higher you rise, the fewer can breathe where you're going. You're not here to mirror the world. You're here to change it. This journey asks you to believe in your own knowing, even when no one else does. When the noise of doubt grows louder, retreat to the stillness where divine certainty waits. The role you carry was chosen for a reason. You were woven with wisdom meant to shake souls awake. Some won't see it. That's okay. This process isn't for their approval. It's for your becoming. And yes, sometimes it all breaks at once. Doors shut. People leave. The ground beneath you feels like it disappears. But that collapse isn't destruction. It's a clearing. A divine dismantling of everything that no longer matches the version of you that is emerging. Like an artist scrapes off a canvas to reveal a more refined layer underneath, life strips away what has expired. The discomfort is the air between the old and the new, and you are standing in it bravely. This solitude, it's sacred. It's not a punishment. It's the chamber where clarity is sharpened and strength is born. The world may be quiet around you, but within you, something mighty is forming. You are not being silenced. You are being recalibrated. When the stage dims and your voice feels hidden, understand, this silence is strategic. It is the space where distractions die and the divine message sharpens. You are being taught to hear on a deeper level, not to speak more, but to speak true. So do not mourn the quiet seasons. Do not curse the loneliness. This is the forge, the stillness that tempers the blade, the breath before the breakthrough. You were never forgotten. You are being prepared. When the world falls silent around you, it's not the sound of defeat. It's the resonance of sacred instruction. This hush is not emptiness. It's a recalibration of your soul to a higher frequency. The space you're in now isn't punishment. It's the threshold. What feels like stillness is actually preparation, spiritual tension, winding up before a release that carries divine weight. Feel God's love stirring within you. Don't let it stop there. Hit the super thank you button and sow a seed of $20 or more. That simple act can ignite hope, heal hearts, and carry His love further than you imagine. You were made to shine His light. This is your moment. Be the miracle someone's been praying for. Let heaven move through you. You're not losing touch. You're being drawn inward. A pull from beyond what eyes can see, gently guiding you away from distractions that no longer feed your essence. What once held your attention begins to dissolve. Not because you're lost, but because you're remembering where you truly belong. As your soul aligns with its eternal rhythm, the cravings for recognition, validation, and material comfort begin to fall away. It's not disinterest, it's awakening. You're stepping beyond surface-level existence into a realm where purpose speaks louder than applause, and inner knowing overshadows outside noise. This shift doesn't lead to a distant paradise after death. It introduces a reality already alive within you. What many call heaven isn't a faraway sky. It's a transformation of consciousness that has already begun. It's not a place to arrive at later. It's a state the soul begins to embody now. The boundaries you once knew, space, time, logic, start to feel looser. You begin to taste freedom from linear thinking. This evolution isn't about escape. It's about return. Returning to the center of who you've always been, beneath the layers of survival and illusion. The noise in the world right now, the instability, the unpredictability, the global shaking. It's not random. It's a divine recalibration, a clearing of outdated structures to make room for the rise of something eternal. Every tremor is a trumpet. Every shift is a sign that the clock is no longer set to human time. Rather than fear the chaos, let it awaken your awareness. What collapses externally is just a shadow of the breakthrough happening inside the chosen ones. These disruptions are divine permissions, tearing veils, breaking attachments, and setting sacred timelines in motion. Have you been receiving vivid inner visions, repeating numbers, deep dreams, unexpected symbols that refuse to fade? These aren't fabrications of a tired mind. They're encoded messages, spiritual notifications delivered by the divine to stir your attention. They are the language of awakening. Those seemingly small nudges hold layers of meaning only your spirit can interpret. Don't dismiss them. They are invitations. They are confirmations. They are the whispers from realms beyond, asking you to stay awake and alert. Make your impact eternal. Join now and be a light in someone's darkness. What's coming requires deeper trust, not louder noise. Pay attention. Reframe every strange moment as guidance. These signs are your trail markers. Let them lead you, not to fear, but to the doorway of transformation. And when you walk through, do so with a spirit ready not just to receive, but to become. There comes a moment when everything around seems to pause, not because life has lost direction, but because something far greater is being forged in silence. What appears like wasted days or stagnant seasons is actually a sacred forging ground. This isn't delay, it's design. A refining chamber where purpose is sharpened and the soul is fitted for a role far beyond imagination. This stretch of stillness is a hidden ceremony. It restores ancient strength, rewires perception, and weaves you into the garment of the guide you were always meant to be. The quiet isn't empty, it's packed with assignment. While the world spins in noise, the spirit draws you into alignment with a deeper current, one that cannot be accessed by constant movement. Have connections faded? Has the circle grown smaller and the closeness you once knew drifted into distance? This is no accident. It's a divine reconfiguration, the shedding of what cannot walk with you where you are going. It's not punishment, it's preparation. Bonds are loosened not out of cruelty, but out of necessity. Those you love are not lost. They are being repositioned as your soul steps into a space they may not yet be built to enter. Even the body begins to speak in unfamiliar ways. Aches, symptoms, strange fatigue. These are not random. The physical shell is groaning as the spirit prepares to shed limitations it can no longer carry. You are not falling apart. You are cracking open. What you feel is not collapse, but birth. Pain has become teacher. Silence, a sanctuary. Visibility fades, not because you are unseen, but because you are hidden for protection. This is divine concealment. You are not forgotten. You are being shielded while your light strengthens in the shadows. Each pang, each unanswered question, each tear soaked in solitude is part of the architecture of your becoming. Your soul is rearranging its structure to match the frequency of a higher dimension. And as the old version of you dissolves, the true design emerges, not to impress, but to impact. So don't resist the quiet. Don't fear the loneliness. It is not the absence of purpose, but the prelude to your emergence. Let the silence finish its work. Let the transformation speak for itself. Because when you rise again, it will not be as the one who waited, but as the one who was being built.